Hello and welcome to the second and the final part of my ExtraCells 2 Spotlight. In this video I will cover almost every item that I didn't cover in the first one. Perhaps there are some that I will miss, but for the most part I will try to cover each and every item in the mod at this point. So we have quite a few things to go through, so I don't want to waste your time. Let's get started directly. So the first item to go through, storage monitor for fluids, and we have the conversion monitor. Let's see, we'll take one of both, one of each. So some lapis, illuminated level meters, no strange patterns here from cores and the storage monitor for fluids. I've prepared a small network here so we can more easily cover every item and block. So let's see, we have some items, we have some ingots and we have some sand and gravel and stuff. And we have 63 buckets of water and the same amount of lava. So that's already in the network. We have storage cells and fluid storage cells. So these storage monitors and conversion monitors. So what can we do with these? Well, if we take a bucket, perhaps a bucket of lava, and just right click, then we can see that we have 0 millibuckets of lava. Now this is probably just an update problem. Let's reconnect and see. Yes, 63 buckets. So it didn't update perfectly. And if we do the same, we can take water this time like that. And we'll do the same thing once again. Yep, 63 buckets of water. So we can, and this works at the same as, yeah, if you remember we covered the monitors before, over there. If you only right click with the wrench, it will be locked. There is no visual indicator on this one, but when it's locked, that means that you can just, let's see, we can have an empty bucket. So like this, empty bucket, and let's see, we can have then we need the conversion monitor. Then we can just right click with an empty bucket and this will give us a bucket of water. And I think we can right click, yes, with the filled bucket to just insert water. With the storage monitor, we can only just have a visual indication of how much lava we have in, or how much fluids we have. Conversion for insert and output as well. All right. So with those covered, let's move on with these ones. So here we have a quite neat little block. It's called the Emmy Drive Fixture. Nothing to do with fluid, but you take the Emmy drive and some iron ingots. And let me take one. So Drive Fixture. Basically, this is an Emmy drive, and we can just remove these 4 ones and simply remove the Emmy drive. And let's place the Emmy drive fixture here instead. It works very much the same way. You can just insert your storage cells. There are only 6 of them, but you can place it all around the cable. So let's just throw these in here as well. So quite neat. I think you can fit quite a few more per block doing this instead. Okay, let's move on. And our next block is the Emmy fluid assembler. And if you take a look at the recipe, the molecular assembler with the fluid storage component, this can only mean one thing, and that is that we are getting auto-crafting of, well, including fluids here. You need the crafting storage, as you always do. And if we take a look inside, there are a lot of patterns here, and these are the patterns that we create in the pattern terminal. So let me just demonstrate one. Sand, gravel, clay, and water. This will give us concrete from immersive engineering. So let us store that pattern or encode a pattern throw it in the assembler. So you don't need an interface. Normally you have an Emmy interface and an assembler chamber, but molecular assembler, sorry. And then you put the pattern in the interface. But now you just simply put it in the assembler, and now if we take a look in the crafting terminal, we can now see that concrete is available. And I will remove the water bucket. So we have no water in here, but we have 63 buckets of water in the system already. So let's craft like 20 of these. So sand, gravel, clay, start. And look at that. 60 buckets left and we got our concretes. So auto crafting works just fine. So let's move on with some other automation. The ME fluid AutoFiller. So we take the fluid assembler, combine it with the fluid terminal, and then you just make sure that you have empty buckets in your network. And let me just place this. Yeah, this was some kind of bug or something. So now it's placed. So the AutoFiller, well, basically it will fill buckets for you. Perhaps it can do more, but at least this is what I've used it for. So now you can see that lava buckets and water buckets can be crafted now. That wasn't possible before. Oh, wrong side. So only empty buckets and our things. So attach everything up and let's take a look again. Now we can craft water buckets simply by doing that. And we can craft 10 of lava buckets. No problem. Here we have our buckets that we will need later. Well, for something, I don't know. So that's the Emmy fluid AutoFiller. And then, yeah, the last item on this side. This has nothing to do with fluids. So I should have taken this last, but let's take it now since I already mentioned it. The ME Ore Dictionary Export Bus. So this is quite a fun little thing. If we right click, we can export, well, we can export things that we have in the Ore Dictionary, like copper ingots, for example. Now, if you write ingot copper, like I have done here, we can see it in the tooltip up in Wayla, Ore Dictionary name, ingot copper. And let's steal that one, place it over here, open interface. And we save. All of a sudden, we're getting all our copper ingots that we had in the network. They are now put in the chest. So a way to export things that you can find in the Ore Dictionary out from the network. All right. Now let's move on to this side, I think. So here we have the pattern over here. It seems to be unfinished, but that's just because this item, this fluid pattern, crafted with glass and a bucket, and then you have the fluid pattern itself. And let's go to the fluid terminal with this pattern. Select one type of fluid that you have, like water, that's a good example, and place your fluid pattern in the input slot, and then in the output slot you will have an encoded pattern. So this is, you can call it a pattern, or you can call it perhaps a filter, and you can use it instead of a bucket of water. If you take a look at the export bus over here, and you want to export something, you could just shift right click with lava, or just do like that with water. You can do the same thing with fluid patterns. If you do like that, and then just shift right click with, nope, didn't work. I think it should work if it's not set. Yeah, like that. Shift left click, or just click in here, then you will set the what to export. So it works the same as a water bucket to set filters. And this will be useful when we take a look at these two items. First, the fluid annihilation plane, and then of course the next one should be the formation plane. So these ones, if you know them from normal AE2, I think you should have no problems with this one. So they're used to break blocks or to simply place blocks. But since this is fluid, this will of course place fluids or pick up fluids. So if we just take the formation over here and there, and we go into them and we can use our pattern to set water, then all of a sudden it will output water. And let's do the same thing here. Once again, it will output water. And now we have 2 buckets less of water if we just do like that, and then we have 1 bucket less, so 1 bucket of water output. Well, what better way of using this than to use an annihilation plane, place it in the middle. Let's see if we get an update. Yeah, now we got the update. Does that for some time? Well, I don't know why. As you can see, this one and this one, they are always there. Of course, they won't output anymore, but the annihilation plane will pick up water in the center. So now we're just getting tons of water. So we better we better stop it before we. So before we're flooding the place or flooding our system. So let's take a look at the 4 last items in this spotlight. First, combine some wireless stuff with a fluid terminal and ExtraCell. This will give you the wireless fluid terminal. It's a very similar recipe as the wireless terminal. Just instead of a terminal, we have a fluid terminal. So you can only guess what we can do with this. So charge it in a charger. Is it finished? Nope, not much. So I'll let it run for a while, but of course you will use that to gain access to your fluid stuff in your network. So that's pretty much what you will get. Go to a security terminal that you have, place it in this slot, and then just extract it. It says linked, then you know it's done. And now when it's linked, right click and you will have your terminal here. Place your bucket here to fill a water bucket, and you know, standard stuff, just what you would expect, I guess. Then the next item, this is more perhaps more convenient, the universal terminal. Combine a wireless with a fluid terminal, and this will give you a more universal variant. And then you just, it's unlinked, it says. Place it in here, now it's linked. So first right click, we'll get the terminal. Shift right click once, and then right click to go back in it again, and then we'll get the fluid terminal. Shift right click to switch between, and this, if you can see, it says item and fluid, but universal, here you can see item, fluid, gas, essentia, so you can use it for other mods as well and other elements or something, I don't know. So terminals, wireless for fluid items, whatever, great to have. Now let's take a look at the portable fluid storage. This is also a way to have a portable fluid, of course, but in a slightly different way than before. So we'll run over here. Here I prepared with 2 tanks, water and lava. We have no drives in here. So what we'll do is that I'll place the portable fluid storage in here. We empty, oh right, wrong direction. And we empty these tanks, we fill the system up. Take a look here. So we have 8 buckets of lava and 8 buckets of water. And those are stored in our portable fluid storage. So now we have them with us, and if we right click now we have the same thing once again. So another way of doing portable fluid, not wireless, is just portable. Works as normal, right? And then finally we have a very similar thing but for items, but only one item. So storage component, housing and a chest, so it's not very expensive to craft. Basically it's a 1K storage. And we need to charge it like that. But instead of charging it, we'll just go right to the filling part. So if we just, yep, we can't enter, it has no GUI, but we place it in here. You're right. I was going to show that it has some items in the config in the interface here, but now they are stored. Let me demonstrate exactly how I meant. So it looked like this. I had some items here, and then I was about to put this in here, and now we can see that we have all the bricks and remove it. So you can use a chest or whatever to fill it. Now, shift right click. Then you can see placement mode. That means I can just shift right click to place my bricks. If I shift right click again, equal trade mode. This means that we can exchange on the ground, walls, whatever you want perhaps. And then shift right click again, equal trade mode 3x3. So perfect for laying a new floor in your house. And then if you shift right click again, we'll get the placement mode again. And that's the normal right click. So convenient, very useful, perhaps too useful, I don't know. But it's only one item, so you can only keep one type of item in there. And I don't think you can put items in there in any way when you're portable. I don't think so. But that's pretty much ExtraCells 2 covered in 2 videos. I hope everything was understandable. So if you have any questions about this mod, feel free to dump them in the video description or a video comment section. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.